Chapter 1: Dark Genesis. In the quiet depths beneath our feet, far from the sun's reach, a unique world teems with the rhythm of its own life. This dark, hidden underground environment, often mysterious and overlooked, invites us to ask a fascinating question. What if an intelligent species evolved down here, in the labyrinth of caves, tunnels, and vast subterranean expanses where daylight never dares to wander? Underground ecosystems, though they might seem barren at first glance, are teeming with life perfectly adapted to the dark. Imagine a world where blindness becomes a strength and where navigating without light becomes an art skills that would be vital for any intelligent species evolving in such an environment. Some of the life forms we know, like cave-dwelling salamanders and fish, reveal what it might take to thrive down there. They employ highly developed senses of touch, smell, and even the ability to detect vibrations, all compensating for the lack of light. Could these enhancements hint at the ways an intelligent underground species might sense and understand their shadowy world? To picture this world more vividly, we can dive into the fascinating concept known as troglomorphism. This refers to the physical adaptations needed to survive in caves, such as loss of pigment and eyes, or enhanced non-visual senses. The Texas blind salamander illustrates this beautifully. Found in the San Marcos pool of the Edwards Aquifer in Texas, this critter is well suited to its pitch-dark environment. Its pale skin and heightened sense of smell guide it through life beneath the surface. Imagine an intelligent being honed by similar needs, perhaps with an acute sense of echolocation, akin to that of a bat or dolphin, allowing them to navigate and communicate in total darkness. The history of life on Earth suggests that organisms can evolve remarkable traits in response to their surroundings. Is it possible, then, that intelligence and complexity could be among them? The path to intelligence in such niche environments would involve challenges both familiar and unique. The first hurdle would be energy. Life below the ground would rely heavily on chemical energy, derived not from the sun, but from complex interactions involving rock, water, and the small amounts of organic material that trickle down from above. Some underground ecosystems, like the Movile Cave in Romania, showcase this perfectly. Here, bacteria derive energy from hydrogen sulfide and create a unique ecosystem that supports all kinds of life, including shrimp and spiders. Another intriguing aspect of life underground is the kind of social structure and communication that might develop. Without ability to rely on visual cues, language would likely be highly developed through sounds or even through vibrations transmitted through solid surfaces, echoing the rhythms of subterranean life forms we see today. Consider the leafcutter ant, known for its complex subterranean colonies. These ants have intricate methods of communication and organization, performing tasks in total darkness through touch and chemical signals. If tiny ants can structure such remarkable societies, what might an intelligent underground species accomplish? Given this setting, one might wonder what kind of cultural tools such species would develop. Without access to the surface world's abundant resources like metals and fire, innovation would undoubtedly take a different path. The mastery of geology and hydrology could define their technological prowess, using the earth itself as both resource and tool. The ancient rock art, found in caves like Lascaux and Chauvet, reminds us that human ancestors also expressed creativity and coded knowledge deep in the earth's folds. An intelligent underground species might similarly create enduring ways to record and share information, perhaps through engravings, spatial arrangements of natural formations, or even coded echoes on rocky walls. From an evolutionary point of view, the concept of underground intelligence stretches the imagination. Still, it aligns with a broader understanding of life's potential to adapt in the most unexpected settings. Such life would provide profound insights into the nature of intelligence and survival, potentially challenging our views of where life is possible. Could we perhaps find inspiration in these undervalued niches of the world when looking for life beyond our planet? If life feels its way through eternal darkness, it suggests that the boundaries of life's resilience and creativity are anything but strict. Even on Earth, new discoveries in these subterranean voids frequently surprise us, hinting at undiscovered life forms and systems. The study of underground ecosystems remains a burgeoning field, with researchers employing technology like remote sensing and robotics to explore areas previously unreachable. Pumps and drills now bring us samples, hinting at complex microbiomes that might hold secrets to life's evolution, resilience, and adaptability. What we find as we continue this exploration reshapes our perception of life's diversity. Much remains unknown about the depths below us, and therein lies the allure of the unseen. As science crafts tools to pierce these veils of shadow, gradually unveiling Earth's underworld, we edge closer to understanding not just potential underground intelligences, but the broader narrative of how life itself springs and thrives against all odds in this wonderful, layered world. As we look beneath the surface, we find that even in darkness, life is endlessly inventive, beckoning us to learn and marvel. Chapter 2: Subterranean Society. Imagine for a moment that beneath our feet lies a whole world waiting to be discovered. While we humans often gaze at the stars and wonder about life beyond Earth, what if, beneath the surface of our planet, other intelligent beings have evolved, living in the shadows and carving out a civilization entirely hidden from us? The idea is both thrilling and plausible enough to warrant exploration. Let's delve into this mysterious realm with curiosity and an informed eye, uncovering how an intelligent species might adapt and thrive in such an environment. The idea of life existing underground isn't new. In fact, it's been a topic of interest for scientists and writers alike for centuries. When we think about it, numerous organisms have adapted to life below the surface, from simple bacteria to complex animals like moles and earthworms. These creatures have developed unique traits to survive in a world without sunlight, relying on other senses and modes of living. Could an intelligent species have followed a similar path, evolving in the subterranean depths of our planet? To contemplate such a world, let's start by considering the basics of survival underground. Unlike life on the surface, where light is abundant, underground habitats are often devoid of sunlight. This would mean any intelligent species developing there would rely less on vision and more on other senses to understand their surroundings. Just as bats use echolocation to navigate the dark, our hypothetical subterranean beings might develop heightened senses of touch, hearing, or even the ability to sense vibrations or chemical changes in their environment. But dwelling below the Earth's surface isn't just about coping with darkness. Temperature regulation would be another key factor. While certain parts of the underground world can maintain a consistent climate, being too deep or too shallow could present challenges. For instance, the deeper one goes, the closer it gets to geothermal heat from the Earth's core, presenting potential risks of extreme temperatures. Conversely, shallow depths might not provide adequate insulation against surface weather fluctuations. These creatures would also need to find ways to sustain themselves without traditional photosynthesis-driven ecosystems. It's intriguing to consider what their food chain might look like. Could they cultivate fungi, which thrive without sunlight, similar to how ant colonies farm fungus for sustenance? Or perhaps they could develop symbiotic relationships with bacteria that can convert chemicals from rocks or minerals into energy, resembling ecosystems found in Earth's deep oceans where sunlight never reaches. The idea of an underground society also brings forth questions about social structure and communication. Without visual cues for expression, methods of communication might be entirely different from what humans know. Sound may play a critical role, similar to how whales communicate across vast ocean distances. Alternatively, chemical signals, like those ants use, could convey complex messages in the absence of sight and sound. It's fascinating to ponder how such beings might develop cultural nuances and social bonds in an environment so distinct from our own. Moreover, the evolution of language in such an environment raises intriguing possibilities. How would language evolve without the written word, if writing surfaces were not readily available due to environmental conditions? Would they develop complex systems of oral tradition, perhaps using rhythm and repetition to encode knowledge over generations? Or could they devise a way to record information through tactile means, using textures and patterns instead of ink and paper? One of the most compelling aspects of this exploration is considering how an underground society might interact with the Earth's geology. Over time, would they become adept at navigating tectonic shifts and leveraging geothermal resources? Could they harness the power of the planet's inner heat for energy, similar to how we use wind or solar power? Might they develop advanced mining techniques to extract resources? Or even live symbiotically with the Earth's crust, influencing it in a harmonious way that benefits both? When we think about technology, we're led to envision machines and devices crafted not with typical metals or plastics, but using materials that are readily available underground. These might include specialized ceramics, or tools made from minerals and stones. Creativity would be paramount, with innovation driven by necessity. Of course, theorizing about this realm pushes us to reflect on potential encounters with such beings. If they exist, how would they perceive us? Would they view surface dwellers as ignorant of the rich life below, or might they harbor curiosity about the world bathed in sunlight? Arts and culture could take on forms we've never imagined, with music that resonates through rock or art that uses phosphorescent minerals to create beauty in the dark. Finally, the thought of an intelligent species living underground invites us to reconsider our place on this planet. It challenges us to think about our approach to understanding other forms of life and the potential connections we might share. As we uncover more about Earth's mysteries, whether beneath the ground or beyond the stars, we build a broader understanding of life itself. This journey encourages us to remain curious, open, and ready to explore the unseen wonders of our world. Chapter 3: Evolution in the Abyss. Imagine a world that exists deep beneath the surface of the Earth, hidden from the bright, bustling life we know above. Picture a vast underground realm where the ceiling is a rocky roof and the floor is a labyrinth of tunnels and caves stretching far and wide. In this shadowy expanse, life unfolds in an extraordinary way, unlike anything we usually see. Today, we'll explore what it would be like if an intelligent species evolved in such an environment. The environment underground is very different from the surface world. There's no sunlight here. Only a deep, quiet darkness blankets everything. This changes the way life grows and adapts here. In the total absence of light, the rules of survival are different. While plants and animals on the surface rely on sunlight for energy, underground life has to find other ways to survive. Interestingly, some life forms indeed thrive in these lightless conditions. For instance, biologists have discovered an array of fascinating creatures that call these shadowy worlds home. Among them are unique insects, blindfish, and creatures called troglobites, which are specially adapted to their dark environments. These creatures offer a glimpse into how life could evolve without the influence of sunlight. Some of them have lost their sight completely, relying instead on other senses like touch and smell to navigate their world. Their skins might lack pigmentation, since there's no sunlight to cause any damage or provide any benefit from coloration. Now, let's consider what might happen if an intelligent species evolved in this subterranean setting. For starters, communication would be key. Above ground, many animals, including us, use sight and sound as primary forms of communication. But underground, where sight is limited, communication might rely more heavily on sound, touch, or even chemical signals. Imagine a species that developed an intricate language based on vibrations or subtle changes in air pressure. It's not as far-fetched as it might sound. Researchers have found that elephants, for example, can communicate using low-frequency sounds that travel long distances through the ground. Polar bears and other animals can detect these vibrations too, offering a hint of what might be possible deep inside the earth. These underground beings might have highly developed senses of touch and hearing. Without the ability to see, they would need to feel their environment in very detailed ways. Perhaps they could detect slight changes in airflow or vibrations in the rock too, understand their surroundings and communicate with one another. Could they have a language composed of subtle, tactile interactions, or even through the exchange of complex scents and pheromones? This idea opens up a fascinating window into the adaptability and resilience of life. In addition, diet and energy sources would also have to be diverse and sustainable. Without the sun's energy driving photosynthesis, these intelligent beings would need alternative sources of food. Many underground species found on Earth feed on material like decaying organic matter or bacteria, which decompose rocks and minerals. This process, known as chemosynthesis, allows life to flourish without sunlight. In extremophiles, like those found near deep hydrothermal vents on the ocean floor, such adaptation provides a model of how a society could sustain itself deep underground. Social structures would likely be essential to survival in such harsh conditions. The complex social behavior observed in species like ants or naked mole rats, which live in expansive underground colonies, demonstrates how cooperation can be pivotal. These creatures display sophisticated social networks, use division of labor, and even care for each other's young, making their survival in challenging environments possible. If an intelligent species were to emerge underground, they might similarly reflect these cooperative, communal traits, with intricate social systems helping them manage resources, protect their community, and foster scientific discovery. Archaeological finds show us that humans have been fascinated by underground spaces for millennia, creating dwellings, sacred spaces, and mysterious labyrinths beneath the earth. The archaeological complex at Dörenköy in Turkey, a vast underground city, illustrates humanity's long-held curiosity and willingness to manipulate the subterranean landscape to suit their needs. This historical context gives a glimpse at our own species' potential for adaptation to subterranean life, which could parallel how an underground intelligent species might develop rituals and medicine unique to their environment. Furthermore, the development of technology in such an environment would likely require innovative uses of available materials. Without access to the wide variety of raw materials found above ground, this species would have to be ingenious with what they could extract from the earth around them. Perhaps they would devise ways to use geothermal energy for warmth and power, or craft tools from a mix of minerals and ores found deep beneath the surface. By considering these possibilities, we can better understand the incredible adaptability of life. Each evolutionary step taken by any organism is a testament to life's relentless drive to adapt and thrive. No matter how challenging the environment, these thought exercises challenge our perceptions and inspire us to consider life in forms and places we haven't quite imagined before. As we uncover more about life on our planet and beyond, we constantly refine our understanding of what it means to be intelligent and how diverse life can really be. So, whether in the dense forests, the vast oceans, or the deep, dark abysses under the earth, life finds a way. The potential for intelligent life in underground realms reminds us that the universe is far more complex, mysterious, and rewarding than we might have ever suspected. By studying life in these extreme environments, scientists continue to unlock secrets that tell us more about the past, the present, and the future possibilities of life itself. Chapter 4: The Language of Shadows. Imagine a world beneath our feet where an intelligent species thrives without ever seeing the sky. These beings don't need sunlight to survive, and their story unravels in realms filled with rocks and hidden streams, rather than under vast blue skies or among towering trees. This series takes us on a journey to explore how such a species might communicate, navigate, and build a civilization deep underground. It's fascinating to think about how life could evolve in such different conditions, using strategies and adaptations unique to the subterranean world. One of the first things to consider is how an intelligent species might communicate in the dark, damp caverns beneath the Earth's surface. In the absence of light, visual signals would be ineffective, so these beings would need to rely on other senses. Sound becomes a significant player in communication here. Some scientists suggest that sound might travel further and more clearly underground due to the dense environment. Various underground animals we know, like certain species of burrowing rodents, already use sound effectively to communicate. They drum the ground, create unique vocalizations, or even use vibrations to send messages through the soil. This might point us toward how our underground intelligentsia could develop complex languages based on vocal or vibrational signals. Moreover, sound could take fascinating forms. Imagine a language that uses a spectrum of sounds, from low rumbling tones to high-pitched clicks that bounce off the cavern walls. This idea links back to real-world phenomena. Bats use echolocation to navigate and hunt in the dark, producing a range of ultrasound clicks. Dolphins also communicate using complex sound patterns and frequencies, suggesting a similar system might work for beings like these underground dwellers. Apart from sound, touch could play a significant role. Suppose these species have developed keen, tactile senses, enabling them to discern subtle vibrations or touch-based cues from their peers. This isn't far-fetched. Spiders communicate through vibrational signals on their webs, and some primates use touch as a crucial part of their social interactions. It's possible that physical contact could convey detailed emotional and practical information for our underground beings. As we explore these possibilities, we must consider how information and stories could be passed down generations without written language as we know it. Oral traditions hold immense importance here. In modern times, various indigenous cultures have rich oral histories, passing knowledge, culture, and values through stories told around the fire. Our underground species might similarly rely on deep-rooted oral traditions, sharing their history, science, and philosophies through meticulously tendered oral accounts. The richness and accuracy of such stories could be enhanced by the underground acoustics, creating powerful, lasting narratives. Exploring social structures we could imagine how community hierarchies might be influenced by these unique modes of communication. Would those with a more varied tonal range have a societal advantage, potentially becoming leaders or storytellers? Studies have shown us how communication skills are integral in many animal hierarchies. For example, orcapods are often led by experienced elder females who hold a wealth of knowledge passed through generations. Similarly, elephants communicate over long distances using low-frequency sounds. Such skills are central to their societal roles. These concepts offer insight into how a civilization underground might be structured. Technology, too, would need to evolve far differently in an underground world. If traditional visual arts were less feasible, they might excel in creating acoustic arts or develop methods to craft physical spaces that amplify and manipulate sound. This approach parallels how humans have used cave acoustics for rituals and art in ancient times. The Lascaux caves in France, renowned for their Paleolithic paintings, are situated in natural auditoriums with remarkable sound qualities. It highlights how early humans might have intentionally used these spaces for cultural or ceremonial activities related to sound. Considering these various aspects, one truly wonders how radically and yet how creatively evolutionary forces can shape intelligent life. It nudges us to think about the possibilities beyond our traditional frameworks. When you strip away the familiar light, colors, written words, and replace them with a blank slate beneath the crust of the earth, what emerges could be a testament to adaptability and the ingenuity of life. It raises thought-provoking questions about the potential diversity of communication not just on our planet, but throughout the universe. Each time we learn about life in extreme conditions on Earth, we expand our understanding of what life might look like elsewhere in space. By examining how an intelligent underground species could thrive, we're not just opening ourselves to new possibilities here on Earth, but also broadening our horizons when we think about life on other planets or moons with similar subterranean conditions. Exploration of the depths invites us to question the limits of life's adaptability and resilience in the cosmos, keeping us curious and ever eager to learn more. Chapter 5: Geological Intelligence. Imagine a world lying beneath our feet, hidden deep within the layers of rock and soil. It's quite different from the world we know, yet it's been there all along. Down there, among twisting tunnels and echoing caverns, a different kind of life might have evolved, showing a form of intelligence that is quite remarkable. In the broad universe of possibilities, scientists have often wondered if life could emerge and thrive in the most unexpected places, including underground. Our planet's surface is brimming with life due to sunlight, but life doesn't have to rely on the sun. In recent times, we've realized just how adaptable and resourceful life can be. Some organisms, known as extremophiles, thrive in extreme conditions. They inhabit boiling hot springs, frozen tundras, and yes, even under the ground. Now, think about what it would mean for an intelligent species to evolve far beneath the Earth's crust. Life underground would face unique challenges and would need inventive solutions. Consider the lack of sunlight an obstacle for many life forms that depend on it for energy. Yet, underground, life could tap into other energy sources. Some microorganisms are chemotrophs, using chemical reactions instead of sunlight to sustain themselves. This kind of life might cluster around hydrothermal vents, where hot water, rich in minerals, spews from cracks deep within Earth's crust. An intelligent species evolving in such an environment might develop a sense of imagine a being that could feel the vibrations of the earth, interpreting them much like we interpret sound. This sensitivity could help them map their environment, much like how we use echoes. It's fascinating to consider how this species would understand their world entirely through touch, sound, and perhaps even heat. One of the challenges underground is navigating in darkness. Human technology sometimes steps into this realm. Devices like sonar and echolocation come to mind. In the natural world, bats use echolocation to navigate and forage in the dark. Could a subterranean species evolve a similar capability, perhaps even surpassing it? Their perception of space might extend beyond what we can conceive. Another intriguing facet is communication. How would these beings convey complex ideas and emotions without sight? They might use seismic vibrations. This type of communication, known as seismic signaling, already exists in some surface animals. Elephants, for example, are known to detect and perhaps send messages through ground vibrations, and mole rats communicate through head thumps. Throughout history, humans have glimpsed at the subterranean world. Miners and spelunkers have explored caves and tunnels for centuries, uncovering wonders beneath. We've found underground lakes with bizarre ecosystems, entire rivers flowing through rock formations, and crystal caverns that stretch for miles. These discoveries remind us of the vast, unexplored territories beneath us, hinting at the life that might exist there. Now, let's talk about time. We think of evolution occurring over millions of years, but life beneath the surface would have its own evolutionary timeline. The pressures, temperatures, and available resources underground would lead to unique adaptation traits. Driven by the need to survive in a world hidden from the sun's warmth, there's also a history of speculation about life underground. In literature, stories have been written about hollow earth or subterranean civilizations, though often more fantastical than scientific. However, these stories capture human curiosity and perhaps some ancestral memory of early humans seeking shelter in caves. Considerations of an intelligent subterranean species raise philosophical questions too. How might their science, art, or belief systems differ, shaped by a world carved by earth, not sky? Would they perceive time and space differently, having evolved with the constancy of darkness? Scientists today are still uncovering secrets about life below the surface, driven by curiosity and the potential for discovery. With each new find, we expand our understanding of life's incredible tenacity, adaptability, and diversity. If intelligent beings do dwell beneath us, our journey of discovering them might also reveal more about our own nature and potential. In exploring the possibilities of life underground, we uncover a facet of nature that is less visible but no less fascinating, urging us to imagine something unimaginable. When we delve beneath the surface, we see that our planet, with all its mysterious ecosystems, is a place of endless wonder and surprise. Chapter 6: Ecosystem of Obscurity. Imagine a world beneath our feet, where life thrives in darkness, away from the watchful eye of the sun. It's an incredible thought, isn't it? Most of us usually picture life on the surface, with plants, animals, and people basking in sunlight. But consider for a moment what might be happening underground. Think about an intelligent species that has evolved in the hidden expanses below the Earth's crust. What would such a world look like? To start, we must explore the environment. Beneath the surface, it's a different universe. In many caves and underground caverns, we find unique ecosystems. These places are home to often rare and strange creatures, adapted to life in the dark. Some subsist on bacteria that process minerals, while others feed on organic matter that finds its way down from the surface. The mole, a creature we're all vaguely familiar with, uses its sensitive nose and claws to navigate and survive. Blind fish in deep caves have adapted perfectly to their pitch-black environment, relying entirely on keen senses apart from sight. Scientists have long been fascinated by these environments. The term for creatures that spend their whole lives underground is troglobites. These creatures often have reduced pigments, as the lack of sunlight makes coloration useless. It's not just a darker world down there, it's a more muted one. Imagine then an entire intelligent species adapting over countless generations in such conditions. If such a species were to develop, it wouldn't just be physical adaptations they undergo. Their entire way of interacting with the world would be fundamentally different from surface. If we consider sensory adaptation, it's likely this underground species would have extraordinary senses of hearing, smell, or touch. These senses would be crucial for communication and navigation in the absence of light. Think about how bats, which live in caves and fly in the night, use echolocation to navigate. Sound could very well be a primary means of interaction for our imagined underground species. Another key aspect to explore is how life would sustain itself. Without sunlight, the traditional food chain is disrupted. Yet, life finds a way. Deep within Earth's crust, around hydrothermal vents in the ocean, extremophiles thrive on chemical reactions. Q synthesis, rather than photosynthesis, becomes the order of the day. These underground worlds might not be so different in relying on chemical energy. Imagine an ecosystem based on geothermal energy, or on minerals found deep within the Earth's layers. Looking at caves, some show us glimpses of this hidden life. The Movile cave in Romania, for example, is particularly fascinating. Discovered in the 1980s, it had been sealed off from the outside world for around 5.5 million years. In that time, life there adapted in isolation. The cave's ecosystem relies heavily on chemosynthesis from bacteria, creating a food web independent from the sun. Remarkably, about 33 species that were previously unknown to science were found thriving in that cave. Considering societal evolution, an intelligent species would likely have developed sophisticated means of social interaction, relying on collaboration for survival. Human history, even on the surface, depended heavily on groups working together. Underground, this interdependence might be even more pronounced. Communication might extend beyond sound, perhaps through touch or even seismic signals. Consider how elephants can sense distant calls through vibrations in the ground. Different forms of communication could also lead to different forms of art and expression driven by these senses. And let's not forget about technology. Tools and innovation are hallmarks of intelligence. This species might have developed unique tools and methods suited to their environment, using materials found underground. Certain metals and minerals could play vital roles much earlier in interesting reversal from surface history, where Stone Age technology was the initial step. What about the history and myths of such a species? Much like humans create stories about the heavens and stars, could this species have tales of the mysterious and unreachable surface world? It's fascinating to consider what cultural beliefs might evolve from an isolated existence. In general, when we look at life underground, adaptability stands out as a key theme. Consider this: nature has a tremendous capacity for innovation. The existence of extremophiles, life forms that thrive in conditions previously thought uninhabitable, reminds us of life's resilience. For instance, tardigrades, small but incredibly tough creatures, can survive extreme pressures, radiation, and temperatures well below freezing and above boiling. Their resilience is a testament to the possibilities of life, even under the harshest conditions. So, When we wonder what life might be like for an intelligent species evolving underground, we must strip away much of what we take for granted: sunlight, traditional growth patterns, and conventional food sources. The surprising diversity of subterranean life we already know suggests a world rich in variety and adaptability. It's a reminder of the immensity of nature's canvas. From the surface to the deepest, darkest caves, life can and does find a way. As we ponder these underground mysteries, we acknowledge not just the adaptability of life, but our ongoing journey to understand our world in its most unexpected forms. These hidden places invite our curiosity, shaking up the conventional thinking and urging us to appreciate the vast possibilities of nature. As we continue to discover more, who knows what other secrets we might uncover. Chapter 7: Communication through Rock. Imagine a world beneath our feet, where an intelligent species thrives in the darkness of underground chambers and tunnels. Buried far below the surface, they've developed a remarkable way of communicating that taps into a resource we rarely consider for such a purpose: rock. In our own lives, communication often relies heavily on sight and sound. We use these senses to interpret language, expressions, and symbols. But what if the usual rules didn't apply? What if another species found its own unique ways to exchange information, using the environment around them in innovative ways? Let's start by considering the setting. Underground life demands creativity. Sound doesn't travel the same way it does in open air due to the dense materials surrounding everything. Despite this challenge, there's a fascinating theory that our underground counterparts might have developed a form of seismic communication. This involves generating vibrations in the ground to send signals. This method is not just science fiction. It's inspired by real-world examples. Elephants, for instance, have been shown to communicate over distances by sensing seismic vibrations through the pads of their feet. This is a powerful way to convey messages across great distances, even when neither eye nor ear is of much use. So, how might an intelligent underground species adapt similar techniques? It's possible they could create deliberate seismic signals, not unlike tapping in Morse code, to convey complex messages across their dark world. These signals could be made by striking the ground with specialized tools, or even through biologically adapted means, such as thumping on surfaces with specialized appendages. These creatures would likely develop an acute sensitivity to slight tremors, allowing them to decipher intricate signals that would be imperceptible to us unaware surface dwellers. Consider the way certain close-knit communities use their surroundings to help the entire group. For example, think about the extraordinary moles, like the star-nosed mole, which have adapted to live and hunt underground using a highly sensitive, star-shaped nose. This comparison offers a peek into how sensory adaptations can allow life forms to flourish in environments hostile to many of the ways we understand the world. They've evolved to use touch as their primary sense, detecting even the smallest changes in their immediate area, further inspiring thoughts on underground communication. Are the natural forms of communication we see within Earth's crust itself. Some plants and fungi, such as certain trees and their associated fungal networks, use what's sometimes called the wood wide web to communicate. In this network, plants and fungi share nutrients and make each other aware of threats like pests or drought. Although this is a biological interaction rather than an intelligent exchange, it shows that the underground world can support connections more complex than what might first appear. Now, if we imagine our underground species capable of producing and interpreting these minute vibrations, we find ourselves wondering about their language. how they express ideas, emotions, and warnings. Would their words in vibration form be similar to our words spoken aloud? Might they convey urgency or emotion through the strength or frequency of the vibrations? Could complex social structures emerge purely based on vibrational interactions, rooted in collaboration and communal living, just as human society has evolved through voice? While contemplating these possibilities, one must consider historical parallels on Earth. For much of human history, we developed languages and scripts that became the backbone of societies. Now, imagine how written messages could be translated into seismic language patterns. Just as we pride ourselves on poetry, scripts, and literature, these hypothetical underground societies might cultivate their own ways of storytelling or archiving history through patterns of tapped signals or echoed vibrations resonating within their rocky homes. Of course, there would be practical challenges. Detecting subtle variations in vibration across different types of rock would require exceptional sensitivity, suggesting that these creatures may possess neural or structural adaptations tailored for this purpose. Their society would need infrastructure to amplify or transmit signals effectively across varying terrain. Comparisons could be drawn to our use of technology to bridge communication gaps, such as using fiber optic cables or satellite signals. Ultimately, by exploring this imaginative concept, we are reminded of the infinite possibilities that life could take in environments vastly different from our own. Such imaginings also prompt us to reflect on the adaptability of intelligence to different niches and the endless creativity nature can exhibit in overcoming challenges. The idea offers a mirror to our own innovative spirit and inspires us to look beneath the surface both literally and figuratively, to appreciate the undiscovered potential of other ways of being. As we look to the stars for signs of life, perhaps we should also look deeper into the ground beneath our feet, where the silent conversations of a potential world of intelligence could unfold. Chapter 8: Adapting to Darkness. Imagine a world where an intelligent species evolved deep beneath the Earth's surface, hidden away from the sunlight that we are so accustomed to. This is a place where darkness dominates, and life must find other ways to thrive. Our journey into this subterranean realm invites us to rethink how life can adapt in such extreme conditions. To understand how this could happen, let's consider the remarkable adaptations of creatures already living underground and in similarly dark environments. Many cave-dwelling animals, such as certain fish and insects, have lost their eyesight over generations, as vision becomes unnecessary in complete darkness. Instead, these creatures develop heightened senses of touch or smell, allowing them to navigate and hunt without sight. This shift in sensory reliance suggests that an intelligent underground species might also forego vision for other sharper senses, perhaps utilizing echolocation similar to bats or dolphins who depend on sound to see their surroundings. The curious case of blind cave fish provides a perfect example. Over thousands of years, populations of these fish have adapted to the total darkness of caves by losing their eyes entirely and enhancing other sensory organs. This selective adaptation showcases nature's fascinating ability to prioritize survival traits suitable for specific habitats. Scientists have studied the genes of these cave-dwelling creatures, understanding how some species have developed more sensory hair cells, which help them detect even the faintest movements in water, giving them an edge in hunting and avoiding predators in pitch-black environments. Beyond physical adaptations, social structures and communication methods in such a society would be intriguing. When vision is not part of daily life, communication might rely more heavily on sound or perhaps on touch and vibrations. Species like ants, for instance, use chemical signals to communicate intricate messages and maintain complex societies? Could an intelligent species employ similar methods, crafting an entire language based on sense or subtle tactile cues, learning from bioluminescent organisms, which produce their own light through chemical reactions? An intelligent species might also harness similar capabilities for self-generated illumination. Fireflies, deep-sea fish, and certain fungi all exhibit this magical trait. Using light, allure mates, or confuse predators. Imagine an underground community where individuals glow softly in a variety of colors, providing light to read, work, or signal each other in otherwise inky black environments. Such adaptations would not evolve overnight. They reflect slow evolutionary changes driven by necessity and survival across countless generations. The rhythm of life in such habitats is quite different from our sunlit world, likely guided by lunar cycles or thermal energy from geothermal sources, rather than the sun's diurnal rhythm. Underground, warmth is constant and humidity high, creating an ecosystem distinct from any we know on the surface. Understanding of heat and energy sources becomes crucial here, for in the absence of sunlight, life must tap into alternative energies to sustain itself. Hydrothermal vents on the ocean floor, for instance, support rich communities of life. These vents expel mineral-rich, scalding water that provides energy via chemosynthesis, process allowing bacteria to convert these chemicals into food. It showcases how life can survive and even flourish where sunlight never reaches. Would our hypothetical intelligent species rely on similar energy sources, perhaps cultivating subterranean gardens with bacteria-based food supplies or utilizing geothermal energy to power their technologies? Considering the psychological aspects of perpetual darkness, we can draw from human experiences in extreme environments, such as scientists living in Antarctic research stations during winter, who experience long periods of darkness. These individuals maintain their mental health through routine, social interaction, and purpose-driven work. Our underground denizens might also develop strong community ties and cultural practices centered around shared rituals and storytelling, passing down knowledge orally or through carvings and artwork, echoing ancient human traditions. The implications of such an existence provoke countless questions. What would culture look like in a society where sight isn't the dominant sense? How would technological evolution progress? Could isolation from the surface world result in a unique understanding of time or space? These are not merely hypothetical matters, but echo broader inquiries into how life of any form adapts and flourishes in unexpected places. As we dig deeper into these fascinating possibilities, we realize that life, in its boundless forms, always finds a way. The subterranean adventure is not merely an exploration of creatures living in the literal shadows of our world, but a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of life itself. It reminds us to look beyond our narrow understanding of habitable and appreciate the diversity of life that could exist, hidden beneath our feet, just waiting to be discovered. Chapter 9: Cultural Constructs Below. Imagine a world hidden beneath our feet, where intelligent creatures have evolved and thrived in underground realms, creating societies and cultures as complex and varied as those seen on the surface. While it might seem like science fiction, considering the possibility of intelligent underground species allows us to explore fascinating concepts of biology, geology, and anthropology in a whole new light. As we journey into this subterranean world, let's begin with the basic question: why and how would a species evolve intelligence underground? Life underground presents unique challenges. No sunlight, limited space, and fluctuating resources. This type of environment would require new ways to adapt and innovate, fostering the growth of intelligence. Such conditions might give rise to highly social creatures, much like ants and naked mole rats, which thrive in darkness through collective labor and communication. Developing a society underground would start with cultural constructs around survival. With limited light, vision-based communication and interaction would shift. Perhaps these intelligent beings develop keen senses of touch or hearing, creating a language of vibrations, much like how elephants communicate through low-frequency sounds, or some bioluminescent creatures use patterns of light. A terrestrial example that can help us imagine underground life is the blind cavefish, which has adapted to life in total darkness by developing enhanced senses of taste, smell, and touch. Imagine an entire species with similar abilities, relying on other senses to interact with their environment deeply. Such communication might involve complex rhythms conveyed through physical contact or the manipulation of environment features, maybe even using specially developed bioluminescent organisms to convey messages, a literal light language. History shows us that human cultures developed around available resources. In an underground society, resource management becomes even more vital. The cultivation of food might focus on fungi, algae, or other organisms that do not require sunlight to grow. Many mushrooms and fungi thrive on decomposing organic matter, and in an enclosed ecosystem, recycling nutrients efficiently would be crucial. A culture structured around such sustenance could have rich rituals and practices surrounding agriculture and resource sharing, akin to how rice farming shapes many aspects of Southeast Asian communities. We've mentioned social insects, but let's look at something intriguing. Ants cultivate fungi as food, showing agriculture isn't unique to humans. This cooperative farming could be echoed in larger, intelligent underground species, developing agriculture as a cornerstone of society. Studying these cultures might reveal insights into sustainable living on Earth, challenging us with new perspectives for our resource management. Now, consider the architectural marvels such societies might create. In the absence of direct sunlight, detail of architecture underground shifts towards conserving energy and exploiting geothermal factors. Ancient humans, like those in Derinkuyu, an underground city in Turkey, constructed advanced ventilation systems without any modern technology, effectively demonstrating what's possible. Urban planning might focus on the efficient use of tunnels and caverns, potentially employing bioluminescent fungi to safely illuminate pathways. The effect could parallel how humans use candles or lanterns, and through these spaces, societies could develop vibrant markets, trade networks, and social hubs deep within the planet. Cultural stories and histories might be shared through oral traditions or tactile methods. Just as indigenous cultures have rich oral traditions, an underground society might chant tales using rhythm, with each resonance bringing words to life through the feeling as much as sound. They could develop a complex form of sign language felt instead of seen, or create a system of elaborate carvings, turning natural features into public storytelling spaces. Understanding time and nature could be fundamentally different in these societies due to a lack of sunshine and moon phasing. This could affect their calendar systems, rituals, and how they perceive the passage of life and death. How might one celebrate growth and mourn loss if removed from the cycle of seasons? Their festivals could be tied to geological events or subterranean phenomena rather than celestial ones. Curiously, these societies might have insights into the geological aspects of the Earth. Like miners, they would be familiar with the different rock layers and materials available. Their tools and technology might advance in harmony with mineralogy and geology, perhaps creating ways to monitor seismic activities or harnessing geothermal energy before us. In thinking through these ideas, it's fascinating to see how exploration of an imagined underground intelligent species makes us reflect on our own surface-based life. It encourages us to ponder new approaches to resource use, community living, communication, and sustainability. This line of thought pushes our imaginations to expand beyond the horizon, reminding us of the uncharted possibilities that might lie in the darkness below. By exploring deeply, we begin to shine light on questions about our existence and the variations of life, sparking curiosity and wonder at every turn. Chapter 10. The Surface Dilemma. Imagine a world where intelligent life does not bask under the vast, open sky, but instead thrives beneath the Earth's surface. This idea brings up intriguing questions about how such a life form might come to exist, adapt, and interact with their hidden environment. Could life, as intelligent as humans, truly flourish hidden away from sunlight and the surface world that we know so well? Let's start from the beginning, deep within the Earth's crust, where life would have to adapt to a drastically different environment than what we are familiar with. The layers of soil, rock, and mineral would serve as both a shield and a challenge. In the absence of sunlight, plants could not grow as we know them, so these hypothetical beings would have to find alternative energy sources. Scientists have discovered bacteria that live deep underground, thriving on chemical energy derived from rocks and minerals. This process, called chemosynthesis, is similar to how deep-sea life forms at hydrothermal vents convert chemical energy into food without sunlight. Just as those organisms do, our imagined underground species would likely develop similar methods, harnessing the Earth's natural chemistry to sustain themselves. Scientific studies of cave ecosystems provide further clues. In many caves, isolated from day and night cycles for thousands of years, species have adapted in fascinating ways. They often lose pigmentation and eyesight, evolving other senses to navigate their world. Blind cavefish, for example, have heightened senses of smell and touch. Our intelligent species may have similarly enhanced abilities, allowing them to communicate and understand their environment without relying on sight. Communication within such an underground society might not depend on spoken or visual signals, which are so common among surface dwellers. Instead, they could use vibrations transmitted through solid materials, a natural adaptation to living within the Earth. Elephants on the surface have been known to use low-frequency sounds and ground vibrations to communicate over long distances. Imagine a species using something similar but refined. A sophisticated language of vibrational signals, transmitting messages through walls and tunnels. The implications of evolving underground raise the question: how would an intelligent species perceive the greater universe? For beings living so removed from the sky, day and night, stars and moon, the concept of outer space might be entirely foreign or even mythic in nature. Many surface cultures have myths of underground worlds or beings that reside in Earth's depths. Perhaps the reverse would be true for our hypothetical species, with tales of mysterious above-ground realms filled with endless voids and strange lights. What would exploration mean to a species accustomed to enclosed spaces? Earth's vastness above and the feeling of unending sky could be as terrifying to them as claustrophobia can be to us. Venturing to the surface would mean confronting conditions they've never adapted, such as extensive light and temperatures that could be quite extreme compared to the stable underground environment. Their attempts to understand the wider ecosystem above may parallel early human exploration, driven by curiosity and the quest for knowledge, but fraught with the danger of the unknown. The possibility of life evolving beneath the surface also opens. Discussions about how such a society might develop technologically. Lacking access to metals that are plentiful at the surface might have pushed them to discover alternative materials for tools and construction. They could have discovered innovative methods to harness energy, perhaps by further mastering chemosynthesis or utilizing geothermal energy. The adaptation to scarcity encourages resourcefulness, a key driver of technological advancement. Let's ponder the question of cultural evolution. Human societies have been profoundly influenced by our environment, inspiring art, myths, and religious beliefs. The underground environment would be a different sort of muse, with art and culture reflecting the enclosed, tactile world. How might the lack of celestial phenomena shape philosophical or scientific inquiry for them? Identifying patterns and seeking answers beneath their feet could lead to forms of wisdom and understanding that are different, yet no less profound than our own. Finally, consider how their history and experiences might shape any encounter with surface species. Would they approach with cautious curiosity, eager to learn and share, or view other beings with suspicion, seeing them as potential invaders? This encounter would challenge both parties to reconsider their place in a hierarchy of life forms and the universe itself. These explorations draw us into a fascinating world of potential and possibilities, showcasing how adaptable life can be within the broad tapestry of nature. The study of such deeply hidden realms encourages us to embrace the diversity of life and consider the infinite ways it could evolve, pushing our understanding of intelligence and existence in exciting new directions.